Hi everyone! Today I'm going to make a card with you using the Country Home stamp set, the birch background stamp, and I'm also going to focus on a new item that's available in our holiday catalog. It's called Snowfall Accents Puff Paint, and you put it on and then heat it with your heat tool and it puffs up just like little cotton. So I'm going to use this image here and I'm going to add it to there. So we'll see how that turns out. To start, I'm going to use a Whisper White card base. And I'll fold that in half. And then let's start with our background stamp. So I have my birch background stamp mounted on, I have it on the wood block that it comes with. I'm going to ink that up in basic gray. And I'm going to show you that if you're fast enough, you actually don't need to emboss using Versamark ink. You can use it regular ink. So this is my basic gray ink pad, and I'll ink up my background stamp, and I'll put my piece of down, and I just have a scrap piece to rub over it. And then as soon as you pick that up, you can kind of see the ink, but the ink is still wet, so I'm going to put my embossing powder across it. So the embossing powder has stuck to the inked image, and I'll heat that up with my heat tool. So there is our background. On this card, I chose not to use my embossing buddy before I put the ink on the paper, just because I wanted it to be a more rough, rustic background. But if you didn't want all those extra little spots of embossing powder, just run your embossing buddy over top of your paper before you ink up your stamp. So I'll leave that and set that aside just to let it cool. Then I have a stitched rectangle, and I'm going to ink up the water or the can image here in basic gray, and I'll stamp that near the bottom to the left. And then I'm going to do the floral image in Smoky Slate. There we go. Then I can add, let's do our blends first. I'm just going to color in some of the leaves actually in the dark Smoky Slate, just to add a little bit of more color, but I wanted to keep it shades of black and white and gray, so I don't want to color too much. So just a few, and then these little buds, I'm going to do in light Smoky Slate. there. And then I'm going to do the 3 larger flowers with my Wink of Stella. And it just adds a little bit of shine to those 3 larger flowers. And now we can do the puff paint. So it is quite liquidy. Less is more. So when you put it on, it kind of just fills in and it looks really liquidy. But once we heat it up, you'll see what happens. Okay, so it just looks kind of opaque, watery looking. And then watch when we heat it up. So I did have one little air pocket. I just popped it so that it didn't go out of control. But now it looks like it actually has fluffy cotton on top. So now I will stamp my sentiment. I'm going to stamp that in Memento. Right across the bottom. So now I can adhere my layers. So I'll put on my card base, I will glue my embossed layer. Let's see here, hold that at the top. So we'll center that here. Oh. There. And then I have 2, this is our sprig punch. I have one from Basic Black and one in vellum. So I'm going to kind of intertwine them. That. And I'll just put a glue dot on the bottom. And I'm going to put that right about there. And then I will adhere our stitched layer. Right here. And then I have, this is our Flax Ribbon. It's just like our burlap trim except that it's white. And if you've watched some of my other videos, I usually cut it apart and I use this as my linen thread as well. I find that it's a little bit stiffer, so it gives you a sturdier bow. So I just took one strand and I'll tie a bow. And I will adhere that with a glue dot. And I just roll the glue dot I'm just going to put that at the bottom by my sentiment. I'll trim this just a little bit. And one more element, I have 3 adhesive backed rhinestones. And there's my card that I made today. And here's my one that I made earlier. I hope you like this card design and that you will join me again soon. Thank you. Bye.